Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ask ServiceMonster show, where you've got questions for your service business and we've got your answers live. This week, a special service monster. I'm going to call Brian Spiker, one of our longtime clients. He's been going through a handful of things with his business that he wants to chat about that I thought might be very interesting for you. So let's give Brian a call and see how we can help him out and see exactly what he's struggling with in his business. Are we calling each other? Oh, answer. Brian.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? I'm doing great.
You know me, just keeping it going, man. Doing California out here.
Yeah, very good. Hey, first, thank you so much for allowing us to kind of showcase this here. I know you're not necessarily a private person. You share a lot of your stuff online, and I appreciate that a lot because you share your struggles, you know, what you're going through, because a lot of these guys are going through the same thing. They're just not willing to really talk about it and share like you are. So I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, I try not to hold nothing back in life. You know what I mean? If people don't like who I am for any reason, they don't need to be my friend. You can easily block me. You don't have to hear what I have to say. But for the people who do care about me and want to be a part of my life, it's good to talk about it.
Absolutely. Before we get into all this, how can I help you directly, Brian? How can I help you through this? Set up the problem, kind of where you're at, and then we'll kind of dive into how we can set you back on fire.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I just wanted to talk with you literally about the situation. Maybe you can kind of analyze what's going on and help me figure out what the problem is. Because if I knew what the problem was directly, I would handle it myself and already be beyond it. I'm a straight hustler till death, so all I have is that just raw motivation to succeed and be great. But right now, I'm I've just had so many hurdles, and I'm just slowing down a little bit. I'm just confused. 6 months ago, I got the divorce. We all know about 8 months now. It's January 1st, actually. November was the divorce, but throughout that time, when I was with her, right when I found out that she didn't want to be married anymore, it was a hard time for me to understand and to try and grasp everything. So that whole month, I was just, as soon as she told me, I'm like, holy crap, man, now I got to move. So I'm like, okay, I got to buy a house. I got to furnish it so I can have joint custody. And I start just tackling all this personal life, and my business was on fire. Just, 5 employees, everybody crushing it, just everything's flawless. So I thought, now, the divorce happens, I can't be involved with the business as much as I needed to be, so I'm out buying a house, I'm furnishing it, I'm doing all these other things and controlling my own business. And that's what happened, was I took my foot off the gas. I had no other choice. I relied on my office manager, who was completely lying to me about every single thing she was saying. I had systems in place and solid processes that I need to make sure get followed. Customers get called back. Perfect customer service at all times was my whole thing. So she said she's doing this. She didn't call anybody back. She wasn't calling my customers. She wasn't going over my packages on the phone with the customers. She was just saying, don't worry, the technician will go out, let's go over all the options with you when he gets there. And then they'd see some kind of $99 special on my website, and then it goes right to like a bait and switch situation where they're thinking, hey, it says $99 on your website, and I can't really explain that after the fact. They're like, well, ma'am, did you go on my website? Did you see where I have 4 different options for a general, a deep, a pet steam, and a Scotch Guard package? These are all different packages because we don't know what you're going to need when we get there. So, typically we go over this ahead of time and let the customer know that, but she wasn't doing any of that. So that was like one big major factor with my company, and I didn't realize this because my head wasn't in the game. I was taking care of other things at the time, and I wasn't seeing her just not do all of these things. So it turns out she had the hots for my lead tech, and my lead tech and her started devising these side jobs where he'd go out and do a job and say, well, Brian, they just didn't want to do the job. But yet he did the job, and he got paid for 2 or 3 hours on the books. And then he like split the money with my office manager. So I found out about this finally after 3 months of just crazy. Fired everybody, fired the entire company. One of the other couple of helpers, they just stuck anyway. So it wasn't like I lost a lot with them. But the other lead tech, he wrecked my van 3 times. He was high all day long off weed, and I don't care what you do outside or whatever, but he was just lethargic and lazy, and things happen. So, bam! Right when this happened, I was just so stressed out with my wife. Anyway, I fired everybody. Whole company. Now it's just myself as of January 1st, totally starting over, and that's when everything just like hit me, and it was like the best thing that ever happened in my life. It let me realize all of the things I was doing wrong on a first-hand experience. Like, now that I started going into these jobs and talking to my customers, I'm finding out all the bad stuff my technicians were doing, but I didn't take enough time with my technicians to train them through those little things while they were on the job, or I was complacent enough to not pay attention to it because there was just too many things going on. Now, month 6, I have like almost a $500 average for the past 6 months. It's just been insane. So I have a pretty good chunk of cash flow coming in through now, which I didn't before because I had employees and office manager and all this stuff. So it is a little bit, I was right by the book on everything. So now it's like free. I don't have to respond to anybody. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't tell anybody what to do. But I don't want to do the damn job, like, period. Like, I didn't start a business to work. You know what I mean? I started a business to build the company, to grow, and to be a great company. And now I'm just totally stuck. Like, the good thing is I'm stuck in awesomeness, right? Like, I have a great business. I only do 2 or 3 jobs a day. I'm off at like 3 o'clock every single day. I don't have to advertise anything. Just my repeat customers call me back with the fattest tickets ever because they're already pre-fatted. You know what I mean? Like, they're already used to get hit pretty hard first time. So those are the kind of customers I really try and just take care of the most and always show my appreciation for. So I always have them. I'm just doing jobs, doing a regular basis, and there's zero stress left involved. So I don't have that fire telling me, Brian, you gotta hire, you gotta grow, you gotta push, you gotta move, because now I'm making more money than I ever did with no stress, no employees, and nothing. But then, this whole thing, what if I get hurt? What if something happens? My focus isn't for blowing it up again, but I know I need to change this mentality because I can't be on the truck. It's not a good situation when the boss is on the truck. Like, it's great for me because I'm making tons of money. I don't have to pay anybody and no stress. But at the other end, like, who's going to run this company? When can I go on a vacation without anybody here, without shutting the whole company? And that's another thing. I don't mind. Like, who cares if I have to shut the company down for a week? I'm killing it. You know what I mean? Shut it down for a week, go take a vacation, and be right back in it. But I've just never had this owner-operator mindset since day one. Within 1 year, I was off the truck, and I didn't do a job for, 2.5 years? I'm only 4 years in business. So 2.5 years, I never even cleaned the house. I was just running crew and making it happen. But now we can get to our numbers, and now is the important part. Like, you can see pre-January, they're like, what was it? I don't even know how to read the scheduler that good, so I can't figure out my own stats. So it couldn't have been more than what, like $170, $180 average, something?
So I went back through your dashboards and I scoped out 90 days compared to that same time period the year before. And you are currently sitting at $432 within those 90 days on your residential averages, compared to last year with your whole crew at an average of $202 a job. Commercial is even more radical. You are now averaging almost $1,200 on your commercial jobs, where last year in the same time period you were averaging $600 on those commercial jobs. Your repeat rate's really low. That's something I'd like to talk about, but that also might have to do with data. I think that there's some data issue there that we might want to talk about as far as how things are being recorded and so forth. So I can't really trust that number. It was disturbing to me, though, so I think it's something we should chase down in future discussions, but that's not your problem right now. Total income for the last 365 days is looking at about $150K, compared to that same time period last year of $80K with a whole team full of people. So you're
You
right.
know what I mean?
You are a one-man band and you are performing at cathedrals, but you cannot sustain this. You know that. And so I think the most important question we have to start with is, what do you want, Brian? Like, let's say in 5 years from now, if you close your eyes and kick back, what does your life look like?
My life would definitely look like I'm probably on another business and trying to build up another business, because this one's pretty steady and rolling pretty smooth. At least to a point where I can have a nice office manager come in and just take over and get it to where I was when I had the cruise and I was sitting back doing my thing, but then be in that position to where I can actually venture off to other areas where I know I can make a lot more money other than a cleaning business. And that's the thing. I'm such a hustler, like I could start up many businesses that'll make great money. I have so many friends that are all business owners too, outside of cleaning carpets, that would just fast track me with their business to help out. I don't know. So that's why, like, the carpet cleaning business is easy peasy for me. Right? We've got it down cold. I have this down in every last aspect of it, except for growing it, right? Like, I got the sales down. I got the customer service down. It's a flawless victory. January or November 14th will be my 5th year, right? My 5th year in business, and I still don't have any bad reviews. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty astronomical considering that I have so many hundreds of 5-star reviews on each one of those things. So,
which there's no question. You've always been. I said there's no question. You've always been a sales machine. Like I've known you for 2 or 3 years, and you know I've known that about you since day one. And your ability to garner reviews is second to none. And you don't really use a system. You use your own methodology, which I think is super impressive, right? So those two things are.
It's a system. It's a complete system.
Yeah, and I right, but you're not like buying you're not buying these reviews and then sitting back and letting it all happen. Like you are chasing them down and you're helping make them happen, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had anything. It's actually a super simple process. For the reviews, like that, I probably shouldn't be saying this right now, but this is like my whole golden pattern right here. Right when I get to a job, I ask the customer if they can check into my Facebook business page before I even start working. That right there is the only thing I want in life. I don't even care about a review at this point. I just want that check-in, because that check-in just shoots my page to all of their friends for free. The zero advertising, biggest come up I can get. So,
well, that's your current tactic. And that's your current tactic. But you've always been a machine when it comes to utilizing these tools and making sure that your customer-facing stuff, like your reviews, how you treat your clients, and how you sell your clients, like that's never been your problem. I will say this, you're 5 years in business and you have no employees right now. So we definitely have some other things to work on, right? That area of your business is in lock. You've got it. And as a single owner operator, you can kill it all day long. But now what we need to do is help systematize it and then put some other people in place. And then, so you're saying in 5 years, you want this to be running on its own. Let's explore what that looks like, okay? How many employees do you think you would need in order for it to be running on its own? What does the organization look like? How many employees and where are they at?
Well, I have 2 locations, one in Sacramento and one in the Lodi area. So at least 2 trucks for each of those areas. It's going to be at least 3 for Sacramento. So I'm probably thinking about 5 trucks and 10 employees. That's a base that would probably hold it down pretty easy without getting too overwhelming.
Are you running 2-man or 1-man crews?
Usually just 1 man, or sometimes 1 man with a helper, depending on the day. If there's a commercial job they're going to, or if there's just a stacked up schedule, it'd be a 2-man crew. All right,
so you've got 2 trucks at each location plus 1 backup redundancy truck. Is that what I heard?
That's what I would need. I only have 2
Genius.
now. If I was just running 1 in Sac and 1 in Lodi.
I don't care about what you're doing now. We're trying to get you to next 5 years. So I just want to talk about what you look like in 5 years. So then you've got one technician for each one, plus what, 1 or 2 helpers that are bouncing around?
Just 1 helper for each truck, I guess, would be ideal.
Okay, so that's a crew of 8 on the field with 4 trucks in operation, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and then what does your office staff look like?
I just need 1 office manager, and then, of course, myself behind it, running it. So the office manager is all the phone calls, scheduling, and calling back the customers. And then, of course, my end is everything else, all of the
But you don't want
SEO and the running it.
Yeah, but you don't want to be running it, right? In 5 years, you don't want to be running it.
Don't want to be running it, no. So I guess I would need an office manager as well as a secretary, so two in the office.
I think you're thinking low. Let's dial those up. Let's have an office manager and we'll call him. You can call him a president. I think that's a little too lofty. Maybe operations manager, right? You need an operations manager and an office manager, because where you got burned was accountability. And you need to make sure accountability is built into the fabric of this new rebuild and reboot of your business. You need to learn from that mistake so hard that you'll never make it again. And I think the mistake there was all come down to accountability. You need to audit what's going on and make sure that those phone calls, the system is being flexed correctly, that the people are getting presented the packages, and that your people in the field are doing the upsells via some sort of a checklist or documented system. Have you read the book E-Myth yet?
No, I actually have it on my shelf. I just bought it a while ago. I'm getting ready to read it now.
Yeah, so either read that or listen to the audiobook, right? Whatever. I don't care what you need to do. Read that book. It'll pertain to you perfectly. It'll help. It'll really help set you up. Now, there's also, you have magic sauce. And I thought about this over the weekend, and I was pretty excited about it. And I think we can leverage your magic sauce to get you accelerated on this path. And it looks like this. The fact that you ran a business with an average of 202 and $80,000 with staff, but now you're doing 432 and 150,000 with no staff, tells me that you need to be doing one and only one thing in your business and sub everything else out to an employees. You and I both know what that one thing is. What's that one thing?
Estimate.
Selling. That's exactly right. You need to be selling the crap, and then having those, as it starts off 1, then 2, then 3, right? Technicians coming behind you and making what you promised a reality. Using your systems in place, using that E-Myth book to help you as a guide, develop the systems that you need that will let those people do it. Now, if I look at the fact that you were doing 202 with a staff and now you're 432 without a staff, I am going to throw a little friction and say, think about not giving them 14 plus commission. Think about giving them 25 and hiring would-be entrepreneurs. You underestimate the value of the additional things that you can provide in addition to just cash. You can help them with sales chops. You can help them learn how to build a business. And there are a ton of aspiring entrepreneurs who have lots of hustle, who would love a 2 to 4 year course while getting paid to learn how to be amazing service providers. And I think if you take that general mentality that, hey guys, you're going to help us build this business, then I'm making fun of the 25 an hour. You can make it whatever you want. What I'm saying though is attract real talent and not technicians. Again, go through the ebook. What you want is managers at this point who know how to do the job, because you're going to need field people who replace you by making sure the quality and the selling is where it needs to be. And so with 0 employees or 1 employee, which is you, moving to the next 2 employees, they should be people you can count on to help build your business, not just a technician to push the wand. And so then as you then hire more people, they will move up the ranks. But you got to get them in, and you got to go through 500 interviews, and you got to make sure you get the right person, and it's got to be hire slow, fire fast. Right? And and these first couple people are critical, because if they're wrong, you got to reboot again and again and again. And so I would focus on maybe bringing in 1 technician that you start to train. And I don't think more than 6 months is needed if you get the right person. And then they can do the jobs you're selling. And then you can bring in the office manager, and then you're selling more. And then the tech can train a new tech. And then you've got another truck on the field, and now you've got more billable hours, and now you are out selling more. And you're always and about selling and SEO and reviews and making sure the system's in place. Then as you have the horsepower, right, from that little bit of effort and continuing to increase your billable hours, you're going to start looking at things like lead acquisition and management and accountability, like auditing your business processes against the activity that was generated. So I think that's the path. That's the 5-year path you should be looking at. How do you get yourself off the truck, which is what everybody will tell you, how to get yourself 100% in sales, which only the people who know you will tell you, and finding amazing first and second hires that will actually help you build the business. You're looking for aspirational entrepreneurs, which no one will tell you. And so you know.
So what should I start at though? What should I start that person at without taking too much to where I can't grow? You know what I mean? That's the situation where
I'm looking at a ticket. I'm looking at a ticket average of 202 versus 232. You got $232 a ticket to play with, dude.
So, but I'm just, you know, a lot of other companies, and you see their scheduling. How are they paying their people? Are they paying like what 20%?
I don't want you
on everything.
I don't.
$20 an hour flat.
I don't want.
Are you talking about 20 or 25?
I don't want you to follow what everyone else does, because if you take what everyone else does, what you get is an average. And you don't need average right now. You need 10x right now. You need effort beyond what they're willing to put into it, because I know you can support it because of your sales ability. This is a special sauce that I'm giving you because of who you are. Right? I wouldn't tell this to 90% of the people out there, because I don't think they could pull it off, because you have the capability of really focusing on the sales and having that be the driver. Then, as a result of your increase of sales ability and to get higher tickets, you can share a little bit more of that with your people that you're using to help them grow. You're not hiring somebody to suck the carpet, although that's what they will be doing. You're hiring somebody to create an accountable system and help you build the business. And then you're also happen to be paying them to suck rug.
So first employee I get, she rides on the truck with me for 6 months and goes on every single estimate with me, watches exactly how I estimate the jobs, watches exactly how I clean the jobs, and then I put him on a truck by himself and start doing estimates exclusively by myself, right?
Yes, but I would say if you find the right person, that should take no more than a month. And then he'll call you occasionally for the arcane knowledge. Like, hey, dude, how do you get grape juice off travertine grout? Like, we didn't see that one in the first month. But if you hire amazing people, and you're not hiring somebody necessarily with a background in this stuff either. Like, if you hire somebody who's intellectually curious and you get them excited about working for you, not just the job that they're doing, they'll learn it on their own, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And if you don't find that person, and you find yourself, if you find yourself at 4 weeks still trying to train them, you got the wrong person. Hire slow, fire fast.
That's a great approach that I definitely. The main thing was I felt like I was overpaying my guys before. Then they got complacent, and then they didn't want to do any upsells at all because they were making so much hourly. And that's where I was trying to correct this time. And then now you're telling me pay him strong out the gate, and I just don't know what that strength is because I was overpaying my last guy.
No, so, wait. Let me correct you. You are overpaying those individuals. You see the difference there? They were not the right employees. That's right. I want you to overpay the right people. And it's just these first couple because they're so critical because they have to wear so many hats.
Yeah, and one guy, he works for a competitor of mine. He's a friend of mine through church. I met him a long time ago. He's been asking for a job. He talks about how great he is at upselling and his reviews and all this. And the other company is paying him pretty good. And I could pick him up in second, but I would have to pay him more than I've paid anybody.
Look at these first two hires as business partners more than anything else.
Well, he'd be the right guy too, man. God. So what would you think would be, like, how do I determine how much to pay him? Like, legitimately, would I start him at $20 an hour, or would you start at 20% commission? Commission on the whole truck total to get him to want to upsell too? Or put a $20 an hour and he's not going to want to sell. So would it be just 20% commission on the total, on the truck total?
So let me ask you this. What are commissions used for, right? We want to change behavior. We want to invoke change in behavior. That's why we use commissions. If I have an employee, a sales employee, whose focus is sales and that's all they do, then commissions might make sense. But this individual is going to wear so many hats that you don't want them to just focus on those things that are commissionable activities. They're going to be training other people. You don't necessarily want to create competition. They're going to be helping you grow your business. You want them focused on follow-up calls and stuff that may not get commissions for at all. I would say take what he's making now, and if he wants to work with you, give him more than he's making now, and even offer him a profit share. Like, instead of just straight up commission, how about just, you know what? If the business does well, then I'm going to cut you a little bit of check for that because you're going to help me grow this thing. Get him on the team, get him on the journey of the company, get some skin in the game from the company's point of view that shows that he's important and you're taking him seriously. And then the stuff, other stuff will take care of itself. As your business grows, you will look for commissionable positions, but these positions, you want them to be focused on helping you grow, whatever that means.
That's a good way of looking at it, because at least that way I can find out how much I have to pay him on his hourly, because he just makes commission right now. He gets 18% commission from this company right now.
So here's what I would do. Say, hey, dude, last 6 months, what was your top paycheck? And he's going to give you a number, and you're going to add 10% to that and tell him you're going to give him a flat rate with no commission if he comes aboard and helps you build a business.
I think that's the best idea I've heard in basically ever.
Well, let's put in the action and let's prove it true, right?
Well, you know what? I just like this approach because I have been putting it off for so long, and the truth is I got this guy who's so fired up to be a part of this company, and he can bring so much new energy to it. He already knows how to clean. He's very physically fit and able to clean, good-looking guy. Easy to approach. I mean, pretty much everything I was looking for. The only thing holding me back was me not wanting to blow up my company again and take on employees with all that stress and overpaying them out the gate and not knowing anymore. So at least this way, because I kind of have one solid, like you're saying, the first guy's going to be the most important, and this guy would be the most important guy to have on the team to pay him correctly because he can do everything I need. And that's hard enough to find in it by itself. You know what I mean?
You're a genius. Let's do that.
You're a genius. That's great, man. Well, I think we should start there, huh?
I think we should. Yeah, keep me in the loop, right? Send me messages. Let me know how that hire goes.
Oh, that's great, bro. I'm going to do it right now. I really appreciate your time. I know you're super busy.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Have a great day, homie. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Bye. These are conversations that I have with business owners all the time. This happens on a regular basis. And I'm just happy to have a little bit of insight that can just make you see what's already there. And ServiceMonster, our product, helps you do that as well. So a little pitch on that. Until next time, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go check out the demo. Give us a call.